Welcome to another video. Welcome to another week here with the topics. Without further ado, let's jump right into it and start looking at some prices today. So we are seeing a lot of red candles right now. It has been a little over 1 hour that the market started to go down quite a lot. So we're going to be looking at that, taking a look at it and trying to understand what's going on and what am I doing about this. So before we jump into the charts, let me actually show you what options that I have open for Friday. So Friday the 19th, I have two strategies open. One is just a naked call that I sold. So this is just a naked call, meaning that if Solana stays below a certain price, which in my case is $144.49, then I get money. 49 cents is how much I'm getting paid per contract that I sold. So if I sold 10, I would get $4.90. If I sold 100, then I would get $49, and so on and so forth. This one, I believe most likely there's probably 98% chance right now that this one is going to give me money, and I'm going to show you in a little bit. And then we have an iron condor. An iron condor is a strategy that puts a range. If the underlying asset stays inside this range, for example, in my case, the range is 2,800 and 3,400. So if by Friday we stay inside this range, we get maximum profit, which per contract here of this iron condor is $13.40, meaning that if I sell one contract, I get $13.40. If I sell 10 contracts, I'm going to get $134, and so on and so forth. So this one is limiting strategy. So a strategy that limits the underlying assets to a specific price. If you believe it's going to stay inside this price, then this is what you use. And if you believe it's going to stay below a certain price, then this right here, or a vertical spread, is what you use. So I did not find any good legs on Solana to do a vertical call spread, meaning selling calls and then buying a call at a higher price just to protect myself and my capital. But because it was so safe, I decided to go just with a naked call to sell a naked call. So this is my strategy. But let's take a look at the cryptocurrencies to see what's the market condition right now. So on CoinMarketCap, we see that right now everything looks red apart from Tron and Cardano for some reason. But if we go to Bitcoin, Bitcoin is at 86,293. We have Ethereum at 2,978. We have BNB at 850. XRP at 191, Solana at 126, Tron at 27, Dogecoin at 12 cents, and then Hyperliquid, for example, is at $27, and we can go down to Zcash at $412. Now, you may see that we are on oversold territory here, almost at oversold territory for the RSI. And this is an important detail for us to get back into it in a little bit. The fear and greed here says 24, but I don't really trust this one. I actually trust more the one on alternative.me. And here we're showing extreme fear back at 16. Last video, I think it was at 24 or 25. And now we're back at 16. If we scroll down, we see that we were at 29 December 12th, so 3 days ago. And now we are at 16. So a lot of fear. Why is that? Well, let's look at the charts. And if we look at the charts, you can see on the daily, the 4 hour shows it a little bit better. Look at this red candle right here. The market just went down almost 4%, so over 3.5% in a matter of a morning, a single morning. And I'm not sure why exactly, but I'm sure there's a lot of reasons that we could be seeing that. But not only Bitcoin, also Ethereum and also Solana. These are going down quite hard. Solana is keeping below that line that we talked about that comes all the way from the top since October, and we actually tested it a couple of days here back to back, and we never went above it, and we're actually going down below. So this line is very important for us to keep an eye on, and Ethereum actually is testing that once again. So we actually saw Ethereum going above it, but remember that I said that this could be just a fake breakout. It's going to break, but then it's going to end below it, and today could be the day that we see if that's right or not. So we have to keep an eye on this event. If we keep closing and opening close to this line right here, we have to wait more to see when the line is going to consolidate and show us if we're going to stay above or below this trend line. But you can already see these white lines, which are the strikes that I usually sell options on. So I know the limit or the range that I want to keep for these options. So starting with this, you can see last week we had a very, very wide iron condor, and this one was this wide because of IV volatility. We had a lot of volatility, which allowed me to open super wide spreads, very, very safe, but still very profitable. This one was 4.7%. And this week, not so wide because volatility was not as high during last trade. But this one, I got a 3.7 ROI on this, which again, I'm not trying to have a specific number. Maybe a week I will skip if it's not good enough because I want to trade less and win more. So maybe this week we should be seeing some red. I'm still hopeful that we're going to be closing inside this range, mainly because on the the 4-hour charts, all these coins, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, they have been going down so fast that if we keep doing this, we're going to be below the 30 on the RSI very, very fast. And when that happens, usually we tend to close that gap towards the neutral zone, which is in the 50s. So same thing for the Bollinger. We are breaking out of the Bollinger. So most likely we're going to see 2875, maybe even low 2800s. But if we keep going down this fast, the faster we go down, the more probable it is that we're going to close that gap upwards very, very fast as well. So what I think is going to happen here is maybe just another one of these. So the market is just going to open downwards, and then it's going to go to oversold, and then it's going to go back towards overbought once again. So because the Bollinger Band is not super tight right here, I believe that we're going to see maybe 2850, 2860, and then we're going to start picking it back up once again. In the 4-hour charts, it looks like we're going to be holding this line and staying above it, but time is the only one that is going to be able to tell us. Now on Solana, we have the 144 that I told you. This is what we have on Solana right now. So for me, if Solana falls, it doesn't really matter. If it falls to 115, 110, I'm gonna keep my whole profit anyways. For me, as long as it stays below this white line by the time it ends, which is right here on the 19th, then it is fine. I keep my profits, and this is a strategy in stable coins. So USDC, it doesn't bother me because I am not holding the underlying asset at all. I'm just speculating on it. So before we close, let me actually show you the portfolio that I'm doing the condors on. On this one, you can see starting from the 28th, we had a very, very good first part of the month. So I started on November 28th, which didn't count because I only started trading on the 29th. So you can see 0%. So my first trade was actually in the beginning of the month. And since then, we went to 13% ROI this month alone. So maybe 26. Maybe you might be thinking, well, since today is the 15th, you have another 2 weeks, maybe you can get to 26%. No, I'm not going to be able to double that. And honestly, I don't even know if I'm going to be trading throughout the Christmas Eve, New Year's. I don't know if I'm going to be trading. And most likely there's not going to be any, volatility or market making happening during that time for me to be making any moves. So I'm most likely just going to be chilling with that number, which until yesterday, it was 13.11%. And now it's falling because I have opened the Iron Condor and Ethereum is falling. So this is showing my P&L in negative, but as long as it stays inside here, the P&L will stay in negative, and then by the end of the week, it will close positive and I get to keep the premium. So if we consider the 13% and we add 3.7, which is what I will be making if this ends green, so in the profit, then we should be looking at 16.7, 16.8% ROE on the month of December, which is fantastic if I say so. So looking at Bitopics, we have right here the ones that we sold, the naked calls that we sold, and you can see I sold 600 contracts. I collected $296. If I were to close right now, I would keep 119 of this because the option will lose time until the expiration, which is not happening right now. So still losing time and price out of how much I sold for, and I want it to expire at 0. So in the current situation, for me, it doesn't make sense for me to close because I think Solana is going to stay below the 144. So this just makes it better for me to keep holding this with no reservations of me losing money on this. And in case it starts going up, I just buy a little call instead at 146, 148, whatever strike we have above at the cheapest price that I can. So at least I have a capped maximum loss on this. If all of this seems very far-fetched or you don't understand anything that I'm saying because you don't know about options, because it is such a different thing from, trading perps, what you can do, you can register with the first link in the description, and then you can go to bitopics.io by clicking the first link or the QR code and click on education. Clicking on education will bring you to Bitopics Academy, which is a free course for options for you. Again, it is free and it is from 0 to hero. It's going to teach you the basics and then advanced strategies for crypto options, including what I just told you, like Iron Condors. You see Iron Condors right here. We have vertical spreads on the first module. We have leaps. I teach you how to track them manually, how to track these options with AI, with a spreadsheet, whatever works better for you. All of it is in this course right here. So if you want me to add something or you don't understand something, just let me know in the comments and we can fix it, or I can explain that to you in simple terms. So for this week, I still think we're going to see a lot of price movement, but hopefully we're going to stay inside this range for Ethereum. And I say for Solana, we're going to be closing the week around 129.5, more or less, close to this line right here. This is my prediction for Friday, the end of the week. Hopefully by Friday, we should be seeing if I was right or wrong. And for Ethereum by Friday, I think we're going to be seeing 3,060, 3,070. This is my price prediction for Friday. So Solana around 129.5 and Ethereum at 3,060, 3,070, more or less. less. So let me know in the comments what are the prices for Friday that you believe we're going to be seeing for Friday. Let's see who gets the closest down in the comments. Again, any questions or anything that you want to ask, you can check out my Twitter at oxavino, or you can go to the topics and send us an email via there or the X account. Thank you very much for watching. Let's have an amazing week. Take care. I'll see you on Friday for another video. Peace.